Therese Daly, wonderful to see you.
You too, Greg. So happy to be here.
NYATEP in the building. So we have a state budget.
Yeah,
After
finally.
much hand wringing, after much wrangling, and everything is crystal clear. Am I right? We figured it out. The state budget is in hand. Tell us the real story. You know the real deal.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much, Greg, for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And yes, though it meant working over the weekend, we do have a state budget and it's very exciting. There's good, there's bad, and there's ugly. So I'm happy to give you kind of a quick rundown. So the budget is a total of 237 billion, slightly more than the governor's executive budget, but I would say this is a really there was definitely necessary to have it a little bit over, what her total was. Some highlights. So it raises the minimum wage to 16 in New York City, Long Island, and Westchester. Everywhere else in the state is 15. And that will increase by 50 cents for 2 years and index to inflation after 2026. We saw an increase in summer youth employment funding for a total funding for them for 50 million. So that was exciting. The Office of New Americans was actually given a huge increase in the total of 95 million. So really, that is and Greg, that kind of tells you where the administration and the legislature is going, really wanting to work on equity across the state. I would also say that there were a number of investments in healthcare and education. They ended copays for insulin, established first in the nation ever prenatal leave, and really exciting news to your coalition and to NYATEP too is the Empire AI Consortium. We're looking forward to that. Also maybe interesting to your members, they are really working on cracking down on retail theft. So I know you have some small businesses. Also, they're working on cutting down on the illicit cannabis storefronts. I know that there's been a lot in the news about that, but it's not nearly as bad or dramatic as it sounds. I would also say that they extended mayoral accountability, which I know was also kind of up and down. So that is good for the city as well. Unfortunately, we did see some decreases that we were less than happy about. We're devastated to see the decrease in adult literacy. I know it was very important to NYATEP and I'm sure to some of your, if not all your coalition members. There was also a decrease in WIOA, but that is going to get reauthorized and it's going on currently in the House. So we're hoping that next year's numbers will be plumper, for lack of better terms. We were disappointed not to see the Office of Strategic Workforce Development. That was a huge push for us. We really wanted to get them on there and get them, annually funded. We also were disappointed to see neither of our big priorities in there, which was the fiscal cliff task force and raising the federal poverty cap for the income disregard to be 400%. But a lot of people didn't get anything in this budget, which made us feel a little bit better that we weren't the only ones that were devastated, but it definitely invigorates us for the next few budgets to get this in.
So we see some investments.
Yeah.
We see some things that we want to see investment in. Are you feeling what's next? So where is it that our energy should go at this particular point? Where would you like to see the coalition stand and lean in to be able to support the work going forward?
Absolutely. No, I think that's a great question. I would say one thing that I think we should do, that I could kind of see this administration not paying attention to really the foundations of what the state is made up of, education. Adult literacy should never be decreased.
Right.
If we don't have adults that are literate, then there's no shot of having better career pathways for them, for quality jobs. So it really starts at basics. So I would say our coalition, your coalition, NYATEP, we need to, really bring it back to basics and really tell the story of how fundamental every single funding is, starting from a young age to adulthood, because it's all so critical. So I think really bringing it back to basics, telling the story, right? We want to tell the story of what we're seeing, that New Yorkers need information, they need trainings, they want to have the skills in demand, but they don't know how to do it. So we need to invest in childcare and transportation, all the things that make it better so that they can get there.
And I see we have a visitor behind you. Do you want to introduce? Do you want to
Yes.
introduce?
Oh, this is Gracie. Yes.
There's Gracie.
Say hi,
Let's say
Gracie.
hi, Gracie. There you go. Grace clearly focused on this particular conversation, needing to know
Yes,
what's happening, what's in the
yes,
mix with this with the state budget. We could
she
just talk
was.
about dogs, by the way,
Oh my
if we
gosh.
want to. That's what it's all about.
Oh my gosh, we could. We were sad to see the dogs were not mentioned as much as we in the state budget when we did our word search, but they did pass, the legislature did pass a huge slate of bills. So hopefully there's a few more protected paws out there because of it.
I just want to say to you, I appreciate the opportunity to work with you in support
I
of
do
your
too.
work. I know how much you care about this state. I know how much you care about
Yes,
this city.
yes,
And I think our two organizations seek alignment, seek partnership, seek a path forward to, again,
abs-
double down on the educational workforce training that matters.
absolutely.
And as we've been taught, and I think both of us have learned over time, inspiring words, advocate, advocate, advocate.
Yes, from our dear Melinda, and she's so right, and it's such advice for, for the future too, is to continue. Your voice matters, and I would just say to, going back to basics and really feeling invigorated. Sometimes it takes a little bit. Sometimes to really believe in the process, you have to take a break a little. So if you're feeling defeated by this budget, it's okay. Wait a few weeks and then get back invigorated and get into it. But we are, New York is made up of incredible individuals, and we can't do anything without every single person. So, keep fighting. And I would say too that there are pockets of money that just haven't been, strictly allocated yet.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
if you are finding that there's a program that is in desperate need of funding, contact you,
mhm.
contact your elected officials. You can find out there are pockets of money. I tell people all the time, do not panic if you're not directly line item funded in the budget.
And the
Check
biggest takeaway perhaps of all is that there is money. It is
it out.
here.
Yes.
As much as elected officials and others might say there isn't enough, there is. It's how we allocate it. It's how we prioritize it. And I think we can agree workforce matters because it's one thing that
Yes.
keeps our economic mobility, economic growth going. On that note, thank you so much for this time. Last words. What do you want us to keep in mind for the rest of the week?
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Keep your head up. Remember to contact your elected officials. Remember to talk about what you're doing and be proud of it. It's not arrogant, it's just awesome. So make sure you talk about what you're doing. Boots on the ground activity. Everyone's making a difference, but part of this is making sure you tell people what you're doing.
It's a
And
pleasure to be on this journey with you as we do this together. Thank you for your awesome, your advocacy,
yeah,
your investment, and our partnership. More to
thank
come.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.